It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I'm Mr. Rogers, and I had a TV show for a long time, and I helped lots of kids feel good about their feelings. I was so kind to everyone because I wanted them to be comfortable if they were shy or they were scared, because I like being kind to people. It makes me feel good inside, and it makes them feel good inside. The children would talk to me about their feelings, and I would say I understood them, because I do. I was a kid once too. I have another song that's good. It goes like this. I like you as you are, exactly and precisely. I think you turned out nicely, yes, by far. I like you, I-L-I-K-E-Y-O-U. I like you. And these songs that I made up made people feel good. They made people feel loved, and it made them feel happy and comfortable. So why did I do all that? Because I think kindness matters. I wanted to make sure kids were comfortable, and I think that's important. I'm here with Gavin, Jeremiah, and Miles, and we're going to talk about being kind and why do people be kind. The reason I asked Jeremiah to come out with us is because when I walked in to get these guys, Jeremiah came up to me with this container, and he said, "Do you want one?" And I said, "Sure." And he gave me one of his little coins. Wasn't that so kind? Jeremiah, you're kind. Mm-hmm. Do you want to say something about being kind?
No, thanks.
No, thanks. So are you kind? Do you help people and you're nice to people?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And are people nice to you?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought, and that's all I wanted you to say. Can you look at that camera right there and say, "Hi, I'm kind and I'm a nice person"?
Hi, I'm kind and I'm a nice person.
Thank you, Jeremiah. And this is Gavin. And he is a little bit bigger. He's going to tell us about being kind and why is he kind? Why does he bother? Why isn't he mean all the time?
Because it's fun to make friends.
Right. So being kind helps you be a friend, right?
Yeah.
Would people be your friend if you were mean?
No.
No. They don't want to hang out with someone who's mean, do they?
No.
Okay. And here we have Miles. And Miles, these guys are kids that I noticed because I work with a lot of kids, and I could tell these guys are kind and they would be great to explain being kind. Can you tell us about being kind and who taught you how to be kind?
My mother, my father, and not really my brother because he's younger than me, and some of my friends.
But your brother helps you practice being kind, right? Because I'm sure you help him and you're kind to him, right? Yeah. And how does that help you?
It helps me by practicing with making friends with my brother. I can make friends with a lot of other people.
Great. So what I'm hearing from these guys is being kind helps you have friends, and it makes you feel good inside. Do you guys feel good inside when you're kind? Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you so much for helping us explain to other kids why it's great to be kind. Thank you. I'm here with Nikki Robinson, who is the guidance counselor at Elmwood School, and she is one of the kindest people I know. So I wanted to talk with her a little bit and ask her, how did she learn to be so kind? Was she always kind? Or what advice does she have to other kids about being kind?
Have I always been kind?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I guess I know I learned to be kind. My parents definitely instilled that in me. They are two of the kindest people I've ever met. And from a very young age, we were always taught to just be kind to others and to treat others how we would want to be treated. And so I guess my advice to kids is to do the same thing. So think about how you want to be treated and how kindness spreads quickly. And so if you're kind to others, they'll be kind to other people too, and it'll just keep spreading.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. And if you look on the wall behind us, Elmwood spreads kindness. I think this might be something that Mrs. Robinson put up here.
Possibly.
because we have lots of reminders at Elmwood School about being kind to one another. One of the wonderful things about working with Mrs. Robinson. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Margie.
I'm here with Kathy Bain, who is the school nurse at Elmwood School, and one of the kindest people I know. I know I'm saying that all the time, but really, even the teachers go into Mrs. Bain when something, they have a little headache, just because we feel so much better just talking with Mrs. Bain. She spreads kindness and sunshine everywhere she goes, and we really appreciate that. Thank you. So what I was going to ask you was, I'm sure you were always kind, but were there people in your life when you were little that encouraged you to be that way or taught you to be that way, or did you just come out that way?
Well, I think that I've met so many wonderful people in my life that are kind, and I think that helps me to always want to be kind. And I think that I personally and professionally make better connections with kindness and positivity and happiness. And I think it's important for me to model that here so that the students and the staff and parents feel always welcome to come and visit, and that I'm always open to connecting with them and supporting them and doing whatever I can do to have them be happy and healthy and here at Elmwood School.
Right, because I'm guessing kids wouldn't want to go to the nurse if they thought you were going to be mean or growly or, what are you doing here?
Absolutely.
Yes. No. So we really appreciate your kindness, and we hope that other people, little kids maybe, can see why it's so important to be kind. That's what we think.
Absolutely. Thank you
you.
for interviewing me.
Oh, thank you so much for being kind. I'm here with Ann Carver, who's the principal of Elmwood School and one of the kindest people I know, which is why I asked her to speak a little bit about how did she learn to be so kind and why does she bother to be kind? She could be very strict and stern all the time as a principal, but she isn't. She's warm and welcoming, just like this. So can you just say a few words about how you learned to be this way, and was there anyone in your childhood who taught you to be this way?
Well, I do come from a really big family. My mother is the second to youngest of 11 siblings. Wow. And her family essentially grew up on the same street. And I have 60 cousins who most of us grew up in Holden. And there really was, unkindness was never tolerated. We were expected to treat people the way we wanted to be treated, and if we didn't, we were let know that that's not the way you treat people. So I never heard my mom say an unkind thing about anybody. And I think she modeled being good to other people, always saying, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I think that over time I've certainly learned that you get a whole lot more with honey than you do with something sour. And it's not hard to be kind when you spend your day with second and third graders who come to school with enthusiasm, educators who are happy to be here. The environment that I spend my day in is just a natural, kind environment, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Thank you. So what I'm hearing is being kind helps you have a good day too. So because the whole building feels good, because you're modeling kindness for everyone else, coming from your mother and 60 cousins and 11 siblings, and wow.
Yep, it was a big, happy bunch. And I was one of many who smiled a lot and laughed a lot, and I think having a nice childhood helps you to be a nice adult. And this feels like a big, happy family too, so.
Thank you. Well, we agree with that, and we appreciate your helping us talk to kids about why do we bother to be kind. It sounds to me like you have a great life if you're kind to others. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm here with Lauren Dubois, who is the principal at Center School and one of the kindest people I know. Seriously, she always has this huge smile on, and her whole building is filled with kindness. It has to be. She has kindergarten and first graders there. Can you tell us a little bit about how did you grow up to be this wonderful, kind person?
When you look back, there are so many people that impact you. I can think of my family and I can think of my friends. I am still friends with classmates from kindergarten and first grade. So when I look at the children at Center School, how can we foster that, model that, and encourage these perhaps lifelong relationships? And we are happier when we're kind with each other, and that opens up your mind to other opportunities for learning, and it is just a wonderful way to set the tone.
I agree. So I would think that you're modeling this for your teachers as well as for the students and encouraging this. And do you have special things that you do at the school to encourage kindness, or it's just understood that this is how people treat each other?
Well, it's always understood, but there are certain times of the years we have to highlight different aspects that need a little retouching. Last year we had a lot of activity at dismissal time, too much. So we revisited that, we reminded students in a positive way, this is what we're looking for, we hope to see it today, yesterday was a great job, and catching children doing what they should, what is expected, because they thrive on that positive attention and that feedback versus the don't do this, that wasn't right, what are you doing wrong, is modeling. That was wonderful. I noticed how you walked, and it was really hard because you wanted to get there fast, and that was a safe way to move in the hall. Great job. And that just is a way that makes them feel proud, confident, and it carries on very well.
That's great. So catch them being good, for sure. All right. So in your family, did you have the same thing that Mrs. Carver had, where your mom said we want to treat each other kindly, or any kind of parent guidance, or just mostly friends, and how you grew up understanding that?
So parent guidance, absolutely. I had one sibling, not nearly as much as Mrs. Carver's family in terms of cousins and whatnot, but absolutely family, just always supportive. I think that's a key, because there are times children will encounter failure, disappointment, and how you handle that models for children healthy ways to handle those behaviors and emotions, which are normal, natural, we will occur, we cannot protect them, but how you navigate through those is significant. And I had a fabulous family that took me through that.
Of course, I would expect that. So what can you say to kids? Why should kids bother to be kind?
Because it comes back to you tenfold. When you are kind to someone else, you will feel terrific. You will have greater opportunities for relations, activities, play dates with friends, and just feel good about yourself. And at this age, simple language, we use that quite a bit. It'll help you be a better person and just feel fabulous.
Right. That's great. Thank you, and thank you for being kind enough to give us an interview. Thank you so much.
Absolutely welcome.
Thank you so much. Hey, Ready Freddy. What, Piggy Wiggy? You know what? I have a story for you about some people I saw being kind. Well, you know what? How about me telling the story for once, okay? Well, okay. That's kind of you, Piggy Wiggy. So, I saw some kids at Elmwood School who were being really kind to a classmate. Preston was sitting on the buddy bench waiting for a friend to come and talk to him. And you know what? What, Ready Freddy? 3 kids came over. It was James, Muhammad, and I'm going to remember the other one in a second. That's okay. You can remember later. So anyway, these kids came over and they said, "Hey Preston, you want to play?" That's so nice. So then, that's exactly what happened. They went to play. It was really nice. Yeah, it was James, Jason, and Muhammad. See, I knew you'd remember. Ready Freddy, you're the best. So, James, Jason, and Muhammad let Preston play with them, and you know what? What, Ready Freddy? Preston was really happy, and they all had a good time. That was really kind. Yes, and you're kind too. Yay! So we heard from some people today about why they are kind. And I loved hearing this from the kids that talked about it, from Principal Carver, Principal Dubois. These are awesome people, and I love that they're working in schools, and Guidance Counselor Robinson, because schools is where the children are, and the children need kindness. I have one more song. You are my friend, you are special, special to me. You're special to me. You are the only one like you, my friend. I like you in the daytime, in the nighttime. Any time that you feel is the right time for a friendship with me. You see, F-R-I-E-N-D, special. You are special. I like to make kids feel good, and I like to be kind. I really think that's the best way to be. I hope you do too. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor, would you be mine? So why are people kind when they could be selfish and not care about other people's feelings? Why don't we just think about ourselves and do what we want? We found out from the people we talked to that they had a common thought: to treat others as we want to be treated. Being kind to others comes back to us and makes us feel good while making someone else's bad day get better. Mr. Rogers is someone I grew up watching on TV. He was always kind, always sensitive to the other characters' hurt or fearful feelings. He would never have made fun of someone who fell or who was afraid of someone. He cared. Books have been written by Mr. Rogers' wife about what Mr. Rogers thought and the notes on good character he kept in his pocket. Mr. Rogers said, "Imagine what our real neighborhoods would be like if each of us offered just one kind word to another person." There have been so many stories about the lack of courtesy, the impatience of today's world, road rage, and even restaurant rage. Sometimes, all it takes is one kind word to nourish another person. Think of the ripple effect that can be created. One kind word has a wonderful way of turning into many. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. The people who spoke about being kind to others, the kids, knew that being kind is a way to be a good friend. Jeremiah naturally offered a coin to me when I met him in the cafeteria. He was playing a game, but his kindness was real. Gavin and Miles both knew that their kind behavior to others was part of why people wanted to play with them, choose them for teams, and sit with them at lunch. Being kind matters. Elmwood School Guidance Counselor Nicole Robinson is also naturally kind. She puts posters up at school like the one we saw behind her, saying Elmwood spreads kindness, and inspirational notes in the teacher's room for staff to take if they like. Kindness is very important. In the morning announcements, children are encouraged to join in saying, "Do unto others as you would have done unto you." Saying this together at the beginning of the day reinforces kindness, so students will make choices based on being kind to others and know that kindness will be returned to them. Kathy Bain, the nurse from Elmwood School, is one of the kindest people I know, as I said. This is really true, because when people come into her office, she's always saying, "Hello, friend, and what can I do for you? And how are you today?" She really cares, and everyone who goes in there can feel it in their hearts. And they know that if there's anything bothering them, they can go in there and they will feel better when they walk out, even if they just had a Band-Aid or some ice, or even just a kind word from Mrs. Bain. We thank you so much, Nurse Bain, for your kindness. Elmwood School Principal Ann Carver told us about growing up as one of 10 children who were raised to be kind. In her large family, unkind behavior was not okay. Mrs. Carver brought that philosophy of kindness to her work as a grade 1 teacher and now to her job as principal. Mrs. Carver spoke to us about wanting Elmwood students to be in a nurturing environment so they could learn better. Kids who are not feeling appreciated or supported won't learn well, so Mrs. Carver encourages kindness. If a student has done something unkind and it interferes in another student's learning, Mrs. Carver takes time to speak with them and with the person whose feelings were hurt to make sure that both people understand how that unkind behavior was wrong and how to make a better choice next time. Center School Principal Lauren DeBow has a similar philosophy. Mrs. DeBow explained that it is especially important for younger children to know they are safe, emotionally as well as physically. The kids come to school excited to see their classmates and their teachers because they know people at Center School care about their feelings and will pay attention to their needs for kindness as well as for learning about numbers and letters. Mrs. DeBow didn't come from a family of 10, but also had parents who treated her kindly and expected her to be kind as well. Mrs. DeBow knows the importance of being kind and expects her staff to treat the children in Center School with kindness as well as professionalism. The children learn better in a kind environment, so the goals of Center School are educational with emotional support of the students as part of what helps them learn successfully. Piggy Wiggy and Ready Freddy spoke about the Buddy Bench, a bunch at Elmwood School playground where kids wanting someone to play with can sit and wait for someone to ask them to play. They told us about a time when James and Jason noticed Preston sitting alone and went over to invite him to play football with them. That was really kind and made Preston feel included instead of lonely. This is especially important for new students like Preston, since they don't have friends yet and need kind people to include them. That was really nice, James and Jason. So why do we bother to be kind and notice when someone else needs something? Mr. Rogers is quoted as saying, "Human relationships are primary to all of living. When the gusty winds blow and shake our lives, if we know people care about us, we may bend with the wind, but we won't break." Mr. Rogers lived his life being kind. Kindness made him happy, both in being kind to others and in the happiness and appreciation he saw in the person to whom he was being kind. Kindness is part of having a good character, and character matters. Thank you to Principals Carver and DeBow, Guidance Counselor Robinson, Cam, Jeremiah, and Miles, and to Mr. Rogers for helping us learn why kindness matters. As Sophie's shirt says, it's cool to be kind. Join us next time on Character Matters, which is usually at 6:30 on Thursday, 5 o'clock on Friday and other times, or can be reached at hcam.tv/Character Matters. Thank you.
Are you worried about letting your child take the wheel? Maybe you should also be worried about what you're doing behind the wheel. Have you ever sent a quick text, just this once? Well, that might turn into a catastrophic accident. Monkeys see what monkeys do. If you do it, why wouldn't your child? In a child's brain, almost all things their parents do, they can do too. 78% of teen drivers surveys text and drive. 59% said their parents do it too. Stop texting and driving, because if you do it, your child will too.
Come down on Thanksgiving morning and join us for the Hopkinton Lacrosse 2nd Annual Turkey Trot. It's going to be a 2.5-mile course around the high school and supporting fields. Registration can be done on the link below. The race starts at 7:30 in the morning, and all proceeds go directly to the Hopkinton Lacrosse program. If you're free, come down and burn some calories before the big meal.
This show often talks to people who have interesting hobbies or careers or different things that they have going on that affect our community.
I'm Mary Arnott, your host.
There is a huge need for providing food for individuals and family And that's the key, is working well together.
You can see more episodes online at our website, hcam.tv.
Hi, I'm Tim Kilduff, and this is Business Matters. Talk a little bit about the history. I mean, you were born into something pretty special, weren't you?
Yeah.
The shop is a safe haven for a lot of people, young and old.
Business Matters is HCAM's show focusing not only on businesses in Hopkinton, but more importantly, the people who run and manage those businesses.
Just a minute, folks.
It's Dive-In Drive-In time, and we got a great Western for you today.
Dive-In Drive-In is a new program featuring the HCAM staff's favorite B-movies. We hope you enjoy these treasured films of yesteryear.
And even if we don't get paid, there ain't no job we trade. We're hauling freight and safe to say no longer Santa Fe.
So check out the HCAM TV website at hcam.tv for movie days and showtimes.
Hi, welcome to Great Gardens.
Just make sure that you water regularly and through November.
So I think we can go ahead and start backfilling here.
I think fall is one of the best times to plant roses.
When you can squeeze your soil and hold it together, that's good.
Have you ever considered texting and driving? If so, you should know the consequences. If caught texting and driving for the first time, you could get an $100 fine plus your license taken away for 60 days. The consequences only get worse the more you get caught. Even if you don't get caught, there could be serious effects. You could get into a car accident and hurt yourself or someone else. Texting and driving is a very dangerous combination, so stop before this happens to you.